So, Bill, um, SEO has been around for a long time, and you have been doing SEO since kind of the beginning. But SEO used to mean putting keywords on a page a lot of times. Now it kind of is all encompassing for like half of marketing on a website. So, not just keywords on the page, but a content strategy, user experience, UI, CRO, conversion rate optimization. So it really has a lot of um, new aspects of it that isn't just keywords on a page. So I guess how have you seen that going? Was that something you could have predicted, or was it kind of surprising, creep up on you?
No, it was actually a pretty gradual movement into content and things like that. So when we first started doing this is like mid 90s. Google was just a data retrieval system. It was just based on keywords, and it started to get smarter with different things like PageRank, if you remember what that was, right? How Google would measure the way that links worked in the ecosystem that Google would look at, right? So if a site would link to another site, Google would look at that as an endorsement. So what we used to do with links and what we used to do with very minor technical SEO, those were the signals that Google really looked at. And as Google started to care more about keywords, it started to become real clear that SEO wasn't just a channel about manipulating an algorithm. It was becoming smarter than just any regular data retrieval system. So as we were going, all right, look, you can add some keywords to title tags and start seeing things rank. And then it's like, wow, you start adding keywords to header tags and it's actually influencing things. Oh, wow, look, we can now add keywords to all attributes. It was pretty clear that Google's focusing more on that. So Google always had trouble with things like JavaScript in the beginning, all kinds of things with issues crawling sites. Google gave us the XML sitemap concepts with the other search engines in concert to be able to ultimately make it easier for Google to be able to see all of this stuff. So Google realized that the burden was on them to get better at crawling things, but even though they were able to make a lot of what we did as technical SEOs, they figured it out a lot better. They still had trouble with context. And that's why it was a gradual change to where it is today. I mean, now it's a full marketing channel. Back then it was, hacking algorithms. Now Google doesn't want to be hacked anymore. The last thing they want is to be manipulated like they've been in the past. So it makes absolute sense that if Google can get better and smarter, and we used to say it reads like a sixth grade education. Well, now if it could read like a college education, it could really look at content and understand what the context is, not just by, hey, there's words on a page, but there's meaning in these topics. Then why wouldn't Google go that way? So the more that they were experimenting in that direction, the more they were seeing their web pages that they were serving be more relevant to what searchers were looking for. And I remember the transition going from like, all right, this is all code and all algorithms and a little bit of tactics with links and things to I better learn how to be a content strategist. I better learn how sites are laid out and how content all links together because that's really where Google is going now. So here we are. I can't do math in my head, right? 95, let's say this was. Now it's 2014, almost 20. Now it's 2024 and almost 2025. Yeah, it makes absolute sense that content was one of the things that Google really had to crack. They had to understand what content meant so they can match their queries that people were entering into Google to get good results. If they can't give good results, they can't make all the money that they love to make. So, yeah, it was kind of a no-brainer. We saw it coming.
Gotcha. Cool. So Google figured out content. People have kind of caught up with content, but I guess even looking past that to when people, let's say your website ranks, it gets traffic, but now that people are on the site, they've got to be able to, you've got to keep them there. So it has to load, which is kind of technical, but can't just be too wordy. It has to have the info they're looking for that's readily available. They've got to be able to click where they want and when they want. It's got to basically like hold their hand and take them down the funnel to get a conversion. And it seems that all of these website aspects are now on SEOs instead of, website developers. You don't really have that middleman anymore. That's just like a UI or a UX designer. It's kind of all you either make websites and you know how to code, or you're an SEO and you figure out the rest. is that like how do you think that's kind of influencing like the I guess the not just SEO but SEOs in general?
Yeah, SEO has been a weird thing because, again, we came in like we're just here to figure out how to deconstruct an algorithm. To all of a sudden, I'm having meetings in companies with UX people. I'm having meetings in companies with PR people. And they're all looking at me like, get that guy out of the room. He doesn't know what we're doing. But because of, like you said earlier, SEO is all encompassing. Those channels were things that matter to us. Those channels are things that matter, to Google because those are things that send signals. Well, SEOs, we specialize in making sure that signals are positive so Google can actually, use them to make good ranking decisions. So, yeah, all of those things really do fall into SEO. Sometimes when I'm giving talks, I tell people it's like CRO, conversion rate optimization, usability. All of those things are important for SEO. And I can tell that a lot of people go, no, that's not true. It's all about title tags, it's all about links. That's old school. Not anymore. Now it's about entity SEO. It's about these. That's a little bit of a more complicated, advanced topic. But there's all kinds of things that came out with a semantic search model that Google put into its system back in 2014 with the Hummingbird update. So these are all things that Google is doing that us SEOs have to learn because if we don't learn it, we're not going to be able to send those positive signals. And that's why I think a lot of those UX tasks, a lot of the PR tasks, a lot of things that weren't traditionally SEO are now so naturally falling into the SEO scope.